What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Andy Ruiz. Get this. Deontay Wilder ready to snub Andy Ruiz Jr. title eliminator to fight Anthony Joshua in February in the UK. Deontay Wilder is ready to leave behind a world title eliminator to instead fight Anthony Joshua. The American has ordered to face Andy Ruiz by the WBC standards, and with the winner fighting Tyson Fury. And both are promoted by Al Heyman's Premier Boxing Champions, Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. But Wilder's talks of Hall of Fame trainer Shelly Finkel confirmed that they will favor a fight with Joshua right away over Ruiz. Finkel said, "There are conversations with Ruiz, but that is not intimate if Joshua will fight us next." Joshua is coming off 2 consecutive losses to Alexander Usyk. That's 35 years old and sets to return in early 2023. Meanwhile, Wilder, 37, knocked out Robert Helenius, which is 38 in round 1 on his comeback fight in October. Finkel is ready to come to the table with AJ's promoter Eddie Hearn to strike a deal for as soon as February and will even concede home advantage. He said either February, March, or April, whenever they want. "I don't know why Joshua can't be ready in February, which is 3 months away. Joshua hasn't had any fights in months. Deontay Wilder is ready. We'll fight him in the UK or in the Middle East, period." And let me counterpunch. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear promptness, okay? And this is what we don't see enough of. We don't see enough of the same equal energy on both sides. We don't see that shit. What we see is, like Shelly Finkel, Team Wilder, "Hey, we're ready to go. Fuck Andy Ruiz. We'll take Anthony Joshua instead in the UK or Middle East." Where do you hear Eddie Hearn saying whatever? "Oh, yeah, that looks doable. Oh, yeah, that's on the list. Yeah, we got..." You know what I mean? It's not great. Let's do it too. We want that fight. I will call Shelly Finkel. I'm glad that he feels this way. I feel the same way too. Let's get it done. Let's start promotion right now and the paperwork for the contract, the stipulations, the contractual stuff. Let's start that. But you don't get that. I want to hear what Eddie has to say, but normally, lately, I haven't heard Eddie talk about or have that much energy or showing that favoritism for Deontay Wilder. He doesn't look like he really wants that fight now. And it makes you question, like, okay, why? Because I know why Deontay Wilder's doing it. He's 37 years old. He'll be 38 this year. He doesn't have time to mess around. He doesn't have time to mess around. He doesn't have time to, oh, hey, let me take another tune-up fight. He already had a tune-up fight. Helenius was his tune-up fight. So it's time to get right back in there with Anthony Joshua. And see, this, if Eddie Hearn does not reply, okay, and based on how he replies, if he starts talking some shit about Dillian White rematch, that'll let you know that he's swerving. He's ducking Deontay Wilder, okay? Talking about other options and all this shit. Okay, whatever. Like, why does that matter? You got a guy, you say, "I want that fight." They offered him that fight last year. Let's see if the same energy occurs. See, there should be no problem. I know what the problem is. The problem is that Anthony Joshua lost again. But it should be, he should fight Wilder because he lost. Because had he beat Alexander Usyk, he would have took those belts back, and then they would be trying to concoct a fight between Tyson Fury after the particular Derek Chisora rematch or the tune-up fight that Tyson Fury has set, for today. And stay tuned for that, okay? But nonetheless, they would have been going in that direction. Oh, my sinuses are killing me. Bear with me. This sucks. I'm going to the store right now and get some Claritin. Okay, sorry. So, I want to see the same energy because I have never, in this last 4 or 5 years, right, seen Shelly Finkel willing, okay, to overlook a whole fighter, a whole potential fighter in Andy Ruiz to get to Joshua. I haven't seen that ever. So if this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity or whatnot, then let it be done. Because we heard Shelly Finkel say, hey, when the time is right, we're going to address it, but only that time. This is the time. And I think Eddie Hearn should take that for what it is. You know, and here's the problem. Eddie Hearn's very persuasive. He may persuade Anthony Joshua like, hey, you can do what you want to do, but, you know, why don't you fight the Dillian White fight and then fight Deontay Wilder later in the year? Like that type of stuff. And then what happens at that point, Wilder will feel rejected, and then he will feel some type of way about it, just like he did before. Counterpunch. You know, so to really look back at what we already had and saw and experienced with Wilder and Joshua, Wilder doesn't like to feel disrespected. Even though he had anywhere near the marquee value of Anthony Joshua back in the day, he still felt like, look, I'm a part of this shit too. You know, offer me a split or offer me something more than what you're offering me, which I disagreed with. But now the split and all that's not even an issue. When other things come about and that are brought up, they look like what? Excuses now. Because it's like, okay, well, what was the big deal? It wasn't the date. It's not the date. They didn't say February only. They said February, March, or April. Now, I know they would prefer February, sure. But you guys have to understand it's cold as shit at that time, too. April would probably be better. But Wembley would be ideal, right? And then if they decide, oh, well, we'll fight later on in the year, then maybe Wilder and that team has done a whole total of 360, and they might decide to fight Andy Ruiz or then Usyk or then Tyson Fury, which would be unfortunate because we've seen that shit too many times with fight Fury and Wilder. We know the result. We know about what's going to happen. Wilder can hurt him and knock him down, but he can't stop him, and Tyson will eventually get the best of him. That's what we know about that whole saga. So we do not, I repeat, we do not want to see that shit again. I don't. Not saying it won't be entertaining. I'm just sick of looking at it. You know what I mean? Because we already know the outcome. But for Eddie Hearn, if he decides, oh, well, let's just get the Dillian White fight. No, don't worry about Dillian White. Dillian White needs a rematch with Jermaine Franklin, honestly. He needs a rematch with Oscar Rivas if Rivas beats Efe Ajagba. That's what he needs to do. And if Efe Ajagba beats him, fight him. Fight someone else. Fight Luis Ortiz. Fight someone else. Don't just sit in the same thing, okay, the same situation and become stagnant. And that's what I'm seeing. So we'll see if Eddie Hearn now, because based on this, if they're willing to do that, I suggested Shelly Finkel. If he hasn't told Eddie Hearn already, stop telling the fucking public and tell Eddie Hearn exactly what you just said in this article. We are willing, your first priority. We want to fight with you, with Anthony Joshua. Let's make this fight happen. I don't care about the WBC Eliminator. It's not paramount compared to this fight that we want with your fighter, Anthony Joshua. And let's see what happens. Let's make a date and let's get together and make it together. That's what we should hear. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Shelly Finkel willing to snub Andy Ruiz for a possible Anthony Joshua fight in the UK or the Middle East. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!